Good morning, everyone. My name is Patrick Woods. I know this is the first time I've been at the forum, and so many of you may have seen the announcement or may not have any idea who I am. So I want to introduce myself. I'm the new director at SPO. I started at the very end of March and have been onboarding and working on some things with Denise behind the scenes, and then kind of became a little more visible later in the summer. So I wanted to say hello to everyone. And also to let you know now, excuse me, because we're trying to get word out as quickly as possible. Many of you have seen different things about or have heard different things about having to notify HR about our intentions over the holiday time period in the end of December, early January. And so SPO will be doing a soft close. I believe that this is what we did last year as well, where we won't be open to the public, but doing the soft closure option from December 22nd through January 2nd. So I wanted to make sure everyone's aware. I know there's a deadline, I believe, when we come back on January 5th. So you want to make sure that you can get things to us as timely as possible before the 22nd so we can get things processed timely as well. But other than that, I just wanted to say good morning and introduce myself, and I will turn it back over to Chris and Perry and everyone else on the agenda.
Chris?
Thank you, Patrick. As a follow-up to what Patrick was saying with our soft closure, so it's really important for you to note down a couple of dates. As he mentioned, we do have a major deadline. I actually looked it up. It's been moved from the 5th to the 6th, so it's Tuesday, January 6th. For NSF is the one that we're aware of right now. So we want to make sure that everyone is aware that they should be routing their proposals by Monday, December 15th to sponsored programs through Cayuse SP to ensure timely review and approval prior to our closure on Friday, the 19th of December. So by 5 p.m. on Friday, the 19th, that our office closes, and that will be the end until the new year when we return on Monday, January 5th. So thank you, everyone, for doing your best to work with your faculty and making sure that any end of the year or beginning of the year proposals that are necessary or needed, or even awards, are sent to our office in a timely fashion so that we can ensure that we can get back to you as quickly as possible. Other than that, moving into our agenda, we have our proposals and awards. And right now there is nothing new other than status quo with the shutdown. We're doing all that we can in processing every request, every proposal, and hoping that things turn back to normal as soon as possible. I will turn it over to Nicole as the Director of Contract and Grant Accounting for any updates.
Good morning, everyone. I guess I will also add that CJ will be in a soft close process as well for the holiday season. So if you need us, please reach out. But during the actual soft close period, you may not receive a response. Some people are out, or you may receive a delayed response. That said, I only have 2 items. One is the R&D audit. We have had 6 projects selected. If your project was selected and you are the project manager on file or on record in AE, you have been notified. If you have not been notified, you do not have a project that is being audited in the R&D audit. Congratulations. The other item we have is the ERS system. Debra, are you on here? I don't know if she is.
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, do you want to talk about the timeline for that?
Sure. For the ECC project, or for the
Nope.
effort reports?
Nope. Effort reports.
So we're doing a regular cycle of effort reporting this year. It's going to start, we'll start certifications on November 17th. And we've already sent out the calendar to everyone. If you aren't sure of the calendar dates and what you're supposed to be doing in the lead up to the certification period, it's out on the effort reporting website, which is in the finance and business website under systems effort reporting system. So go there. There's a link to the calendar. There's a link to the things that you should be doing to prepare. If you are a coordinator for your department and you're working with your PIs, there's a way to set up your list so that you've got your lists ready to go and you can see all the effort reports that you're responsible for. If you have questions, we have 2 ways that you can get us a ticket. You can either email cga-compliance.ucdavis.edu or at ucdavis.edu, or you can put a help ticket in through the Aggie Enterprise Help screen and route it to the effort reporting team, and we'll get your ticket either way. And we do everything on tickets now, so a lot of people are emailing me and I'm just directing them back to the ticketing system, so save yourself some time to go directly to your tickets. So again, the effort report certification will start on November 17th. I always try to give the coordinators a day or 2 head start so that they can get a look at the reports before their PIs do. And we will do everything we can to help you get your certifications done by January 28th, which is the annual deadline. That's all I got. Questions
All
about
right.
effort reporting? Okay.
Just to tag team on that, I will say the new Huron system should begin configuration in mid-January at this point, and they say it'll take a full 9 months to fully implement. So just keep that in mind. So hopefully next year we will be using the new system, which makes me happy. So that is all I have. I don't anybody has questions? Those are the best questions of the day. Back to you.
So Samuel had a question at the start. Now we can take time for that. Samuel, Sam, you want to tell us your question again?
Believe it or not, I found the answer while I was looking and listening.
Well, heck, now I want your question. Anyone else have any questions?
I do if nobody else does.
You're up at bat, Christina.
Okay, so I'm relatively new and to my position, and the last time I submitted like a contract that we had with the state, it was like rushed and people just told me what to do and I don't think I quite understood. But so I submitted it in SP, and then when I asked if I had to submit it in Cayuse like 424, and I was told that they don't normally do that. Do you know why?
Well, for most proposals, we need to submit it to the sponsor. Cayuse SP is just an internal system used to get approvals internally at UC Davis.
Okay.
So Cayuse 424 is only used for most federal sponsors. So it may be that it needed to be submitted through a different sponsor submission system, depending on if it's a state agency or if it's private industry, a foundation. So could it have been submitted through a different submission system?
I don't know. I don't know, to be quite honest, because it was a blur. So the current one that I have, like that I just submitted through, it's for the Emergency Medical Services Authority for California, state of California.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know because there was like a standard 213 that had to get filled out, and so I'm not sure where I need, like if I needed to do anything else besides route it through for approvals.
Yes, you're going to need to submit it to that California state agency. So in the request for proposals, they should state which submission system you need to use, or they might say just send in an email. That happens with some of our smaller funders, foundations and stuff. So read the request for proposals. It'll tell you how to submit it to the sponsor. But it
Okay.
needs to go through SP like you did, through Cayuse SP, get all the internal approvals. And then it also needs, that external submission needs to be reviewed by the sponsor programs office as well before it's submitted to the sponsor. So
Okay.
you might need to grant access to your assigned SPO analyst for them to review it before it's submitted to that California state agency.
Okay. And then I find the SPO analyst by looking like back to the SP like proposal and it has it listed there.
Yeah, when SP finishes routing through department chairs for approval, and once the assigned PIs and co-PIs have certified it, then it arrives to SPO, and if it all looks good, they'll assign an analyst to you and tell you who that is. So if you don't know who that analyst is just yet, you can start the application to the sponsor, and then when you get contacted, you can add them to that sponsor submission system so they can review it as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So there's a whole bunch of questions that have come in the chat while that was going on. First was from Michael Hess. Is SPO going to track the number of submissions to NIH in a calendar year per PI in compliance with NOT OD 25132? Or is that tracking burden on the department the PI
Yeah.
is housed in?
Exactly. That tracking is the responsibility of the PI and the department. We do not have the manpower to be able to do that kind of tracking.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Michael. The soft closure dates are not yet posted, Joe, but we'll have them up on our SPO website soon. So Lisa Ray's question, are the RAs no longer being CC'd in the emails when going back and forth with the sponsor in regards to getting the award hashed out? We tend, when the awards team is processing a notice of award, we tend to always include the research administrator in the unit, because they're the ones who often can poke the PI to get responses or who have the answers to our questions. So we tend to always include them. So if you were left out for some reason, that was likely in error. So you can write awards@ucdavis.edu to get clarification on that and get added back into those email threads. And also going back to Christina's question, if you don't know who your analyst is and you have a question for SPO, you can always write proposals at ucdavis.edu to get questions addressed.
I want to add to that. You should be able to find your analyst based on the assigned. They're listed in Cayuse for the project itself. Once things get here and are assigned, so you should be able to look up the record and find your analyst, and it's usually quicker and easier to be able to contact them directly as opposed to through the proposals or awards inbox, if at all possible, because they'll be able to respond a little more quickly. When the proposal in the awards inbox gets inundated with a couple hundred emails a day, it's harder to get through as timely as if it's going directly to the analyst once it's been assigned.
Good point, Patrick. Thanks. So there's a question, are requests for consultant agreements sent in through Cayuse? A consultant is a service agreement, isn't it?
Yes. So I have a PI that did some consulting back in August and has sent over his proposal for it and wanting it to be invoiced.
Yeah, I don't
So
think those come through SPO, right, Chris?
Yeah, have you talked to business contracts about that? Because it
Not
sounds
yet.
like that was something that's a little bit different than your standard extramural project.
okay, so it's business contracts, you said?
I would reach out to them.
Okay. Thank you.
And then at the bottom, this is a question for contracts and grants accounting from Angela Robles. Would it be possible to add a second person to the service ticket system in Ag Enterprise?
So you're referring to ServiceNow, and you can put them as requested for or whatever on the when submitting the ticket, and then they'll be included on all the correspondence. And if you've forgotten, you can just let me know and I can add them to the watch list for your ticket. Hopefully that helps.
All right, great. Those are good questions. Any additional questions before I share about upcoming trainings? All right, so as you hopefully know, this is the last forum of 2025. We don't hold them in November and December because they fall too close to the holidays, and we'd be sitting here with like 3 people. So we don't want that. So instead, we take off November and December, and we'll pick this back up on the 4th Tuesday in January. So what this means is I've got a whole bunch of classes coming up between now and then. Too many to get into all the details of each, but as I usually do, I'm going to put the link in the chat where you can look up what's coming up at SPO in the next 3 months. So I'll just read some of the titles here. So we've got a class on preparing a proposal budget. This is the lab, which means you have to take the e-course first, preparing a proposal budget basics. And then the lab gives you an opportunity to practice the concepts that you learned in the earlier class. We have a class on processing subawards in Cayuse. We have a class on Cayuse 424. We have another lab. This is a subawards lab. So once you've taken the prerequisite processing subawards class, then you can come to this lab and practice the stuff that you learned so that it becomes ingrained and you feel masterful like a Jedi. And we also have a proposals lab coming up, and that has 2 prerequisites. One class is proposal prep and submission, and the other is the Cayuse 424 class. So again, we'll practice what you've learned in those 2 classes. And we also have a class on using the OR budget templates towards the end of January. And we have had to cancel some of our classes recently because we had low enrollment. And that breaks my heart. I don't want to cancel classes. So I encourage you to take a look and sign up for some of those classes. And additionally, we have I'm just opening up right now because I forgot to do it earlier. We have a class, a research administration workshop on submitting NSF proposals in research.gov. And that's scheduled after our January forum on Thursday, January 29th. And, you know, as the title says, it covers how you prepare NSF proposals in research.gov. So hopefully one of those is of interest to you, and you can go to the link to sign up. So it seems like that might be everything we have for today. Anybody have anything they need to share to the research administration community? Anybody have any last questions? Going, gone. All right. Thank you, everybody, for your time. Happy holidays, and we'll see you all again in January, if not sooner. Bye.
Bye.